Hey there, everybody. It's December all of a sudden. And today I'm going to talk about what you want to do in your garden in December. And we're going to take a little stroll around Cottage Gardens to see what you might want to plant right now. I'm Fanula. I live, work, and garden in Zone 9B, gorgeous Northern California. As you can see, today is a really beautiful day here in Petaluma. So let's jump right in and get going. Find out what you're going to want to do in your garden in December. Okay, let's start with what you need to do now that it's December, definitely feeling wintry. And we've had a couple of nights that have been incredibly close to being frosty. So what you need to do, get some frost cloth, because, come on over this way and I'll show you some succulents. These guys are pretty frost tender. I'm spotting a couple of other succulents that are really frost tender. Some perennials are frost tender, and your citrus, they too are going to want to be protected if the temperatures dip below 28 degrees. So start by grabbing yourself some frost protection of some sort. I always recommend, I love this one, this insulator is good. Any kind of frost cloth made specially for frost protection is a great way to go. And what you want to do, I know I have another video showing you somewhere how best to do it, but you don't want to lay it directly on your plants. You want to raise it up a little bit. I use a very sophisticated method, bamboo stakes with a tennis ball on top, but anything that works for you, you want to raise it up and over your poor little frost tender plants to keep them warm and cozy and thriving all winter long. Then you take it off the next day, let the sun warm your plant up again. But I know it's a little bit of a pain, but it's well worth it. Okay, let's talk about the next chore that you're going to want to do for winter. That is watering. We all think, oh yeah, fall and winter rains, and it's December, it's probably rained. It hasn't rained that much. It did rain a week or two ago, that was great, but already our plants here at the nursery need more water. So stay on top of it. Don't just presume the weather is watering your plants for you. You want to keep your plants nice, happy, hydrated. And that reminds me about plants underneath the eaves of your house. They can dry out really a surprising amount over the winter months. We just kind of forget it's winter, it definitely rained last week. Well, the rain is not getting under the eaves of your house. So double check on those too. Here's our little citrus right here. At Cottage, we've got them sheltered underneath the shade fabric up there, which is going to protect them from frost. But on particularly cold nights, if it gets below 26, definitely going to do this as well. So if you've got a brand new citrus at your house that you just planted over the last, this year for sure, you definitely need to get out there if it dips below 32. If you have an older citrus tree, think about it. You really do want to protect those babies. You want to keep them as stress-free as possible through the winter months so that they're going to give you everything you want next year. So yeah, citrus, that's another one that definitely needs some frost protection. But right now I'm on the way to my peaches and nectarines because December, that's another thing you're going to want to do. You will have hopefully already sprayed your peaches and your nectarines in November, once all the leaves have fallen off. They've already fallen off these gorgeous little plants here at the nursery, so we've already done our first spray to make sure that they don't get peach leaf curl. Peach leaf curl is this pain in the neck fungal problem that we get around here because of our weather. We don't have the most perfect weather for peaches or nectarines. They're a little bit stressed. So to prevent peach leaf curl, you are supposed to spray 4 times around the holidays, around Thanksgiving, around Christmas, middle of January, and around Valentine's Day. Even 3 sprays is really effective. 2 sprays is even pretty good. Don't totally ignore them. The other important thing to do around your peaches and your nectarines this year, this is a spray I recommend. Neem oil also works, liquid cop also works, but the copper fungicides are the best against peach leaf curl. There are other ways of protecting your peaches and nectarines too, like incredibly good sanitation around them. You want to make sure every leaf is cleared away. You really want to inspect to make sure there's no disease on your tree. If you see anything, prune that away. So there are ways of doing it, but this spray here is approved for organic gardening. I do recommend it. Makes your life a lot easier and gives you lots more nectarines and peaches. Another chore for you this December is to keep prepping your garden beds in preparation for 2026. Spring is definitely just around the corner as far as us gardeners are concerned. And it's a fabulous time to dig in some great fresh compost, not fresh, well-aged compost or soil booster, to sow those cover crops and to basically get your beds ready for next year. Any of your empty beds should have something in it, whether it's compost, soil booster, or a cover crop. So get onto that. But while we're out here in the veggie garden right now, I really have to bring your attention to something absolutely astonishing, which is our fabulous tree dahlias. Look at this. They bloom in December. And they've got to be at least 12, 15 feet high. We come out here and visit them every day. They're absolutely stunning. The bees love them. And I don't have any right now to sell you, but definitely next spring we will. Just make sure you give them space. Make sure there's somewhere that they can get this tall and that you can really, truly enjoy them. Look at this one. It's called Dahlia imperialis, the imperial dahlia. Look. Okay, that's kind of it for December chores. You've got your pruning, you got your cleaning, you got your spraying of your peaches and nectarines. Oh, maybe I didn't talk enough about pruning, but once all the leaves have fallen off your fruit trees, I know my apples haven't done it yet, but the cherries have, the peaches have, the nectarines have. It's time to start pruning them. Once you know they're dormant, it's time to get going on the pruning, because before you know it, it's going to be February. Warmth, weather is going to get everything growing again, and the buds are going to start to break. So you want to get your pruning done before that happens. I know for sure my roses aren't ready yet, so I'm going to wait on those, but the fruit trees, definitely I can start on some of those. All right, now for the fun stuff. Okay, so here at Cottage, these are the roses I've got left from 2025. All of this empty space out here will be filled with the brand new roses. I'm expecting them to arrive in the next 2 to 3 weeks. So one more chore, but incredibly fun thing to do right now. Check for what gaps you still have in your garden. Get that soil prepped. Start imagining what roses you want to see there. One of the most fun things to do right now in December is to shop for cyclamen. And though the holiday colors are really like hard to resist, I always recommend something that you really want to see in your garden for years to come. Now this particular one is my absolute favorite. It's got these little picotees. It's like, I don't even need to explain to you why it's my favorite. It is absolutely a stunning little one. But part of it is the foliage is absolutely gorgeous. So when it's not in bloom, you still have this really great foliage. Now, one of the things that I particularly love about cyclamen is that I've seen them in Italy and in Croatia, totally naturalized, totally growing wild. And this is quite like those wild ones. They're very small, very petite. They grow in the shade. They don't seem to need much summer water. And they just look spectacular growing wild. Picture thousands upon thousands of them growing in a field, a shaded field. So what a cyclamen needs here in Zone 9B, gorgeous Northern California, if you're growing them out in the landscape, definitely they need afternoon shade. They need minimal water, but they do need something to keep them going during our long, dry summers. And that's about it. Other than that, they bloom right when you need them this time of year, and they are a fabulous plant. Which brings me to another fabulous plant with evergreen foliage and fabulous blooms at a time that nothing else is blooming, and that's hellebores. Let's go find the hellebores. All right, hellebores. They are incredible. They just are the most fabulous winter blooming perennial that you can grow. easy as can be also. They do like very good drainage, and they don't like a lot of water. I've literally got one at my house that has been not watered any summer, and it's still thriving, and it self-seeds. The key to a hellebor's happiness, though, is you want to grow it in afternoon shade. They do like some morning sun. That really helps get the blooms going and get the blooms be the color that you actually are hoping for. But other than that, you know, morning sun, afternoon shade, minimal water, excellent drainage, and the soil should not be too rich. If you treat your hellebore just like you would any of your other beloved perennials and give them nice rich soil, they tend to get aphids. So you want to avoid good rich soil when it comes to a hellebore. Rocky, gritty, good drainage, not a ton of nitrogen, and then your hellebore is going to be super happy. Another thing I want to talk to you about today are conifers and evergreens in general. So we're coming up to the time where all the deciduous plants are dormant. The leaves have fallen off, and that really brings your eye in the garden to anything that does have its foliage or excellent form. I'm going to talk about the foliage today, though, because I absolutely love using conifers of all description in the landscape, and I particularly like using the dwarf conifers, and I have here a few to show you that really demonstrate the differences between the foliage textures, the foliage colors. Now this obviously is an olive, it's not a conifer, but it is an evergreen, illustrating how even in December, January and February, you're going to get color and growth and texture in your garden if you use evergreens and conifers. So each single one of these, every single one of them, has a different color, has a different texture. Around here, zone 9B, I totally recommend planting most of your conifers with some afternoon shade. The labels will recommend sun, but that's for all over the country, and our dry, hot summers really recommend shade for these guys. They do way better. This is our experience. There's definitely ways you can make them work if you up the water and provide some afternoon shade during the hottest heat waves. But at the same time, why mess with that? Why have to worry about that? Grow them with some shade in the afternoon and they'll be so much happier. You can see what you can create in your garden with these as an ingredient. I mean, they're really quite amazing, and they work great in a woodland garden, Asian garden theme, modern garden. They also do very well in containers. So if you just need that pop of greenery by your porch, go for a dwarf conifer. You've got a whole range of choices of colors and forms and textures to choose from, and they're really stunning. I want to show you my favorite. I got really enamored with a lot of the weeping forms this year and brought in some real stunners. Lots of weeping going on. But this little guy, this is my favorite. Look at this. Each one of them is like a little Dr. Seuss creature. It's a Spiralis hinoki cypress, and I mean, look at it. I mean, it just makes you smile, makes you laugh, and I can't wait to see what it does when it gets taller and grows up. So this brings me to another plant that has amazing foliage and form and color this time of year. You know, just tiding us over into spring where everything's blooming and everything's colorful. It's so amazing to have something bringing us through these cold winter days. I'm totally lying about today. It's a gorgeous day, but you know, it will be cold and wintry. But Leucadendrons, they are spectacular. Now this is a full sun plant around here, and they come in a lot of different colors and forms and ultimate growth sizes. So I love this Leucadendron blush for its red flowers, but I particularly love Inca Gold for the golden flowers. It's a bit bigger, a little bit showier, and when these cones open up the way they're supposed to, they're just gorgeous, like bright yellow. I'll show you what it looks like when it fully matures, but right now in December, it's a great time to grab a Leucadendron. I want to say one more thing about Leucadendrons as I draw your attention to this gorgeous jester. Jester is variegated in a couple of different colors. There's cream and there's pink. And the cone flowers are almost like second to the beauty of the foliage of it. But they're super easy to take care of. They are full sun. They are like the hellebores in that they really don't want good soil. They really don't want much potassium in their soil either. Easy to take care of. Excellent drainage, full sun, not too picky about their soil. Prune after they're finished flowering and you will be so, so happy. And finally, December is an absolutely amazing time to plant primroses. They are evergreen perennials. They love a little bit of afternoon shade. This time of year you can pop them in a pot or put them pretty much anywhere, full sun, because the sun's rays are so mellow. But it's a fabulous time to plant them. And what I have is the ballerina series and all those little doubles. They're not blooming yet. I can see the colors just about to happen, but I have picture signs for everything. And one of the best things about primroses is they keep getting bigger and better every year. You plant them now, you get beautiful blooms in the spring, you get blooms again in the fall. Then during the magic of winter, they increase in size, and the next spring you get even more blooms and more blooms. They're incredibly rewarding, and they also have a really great little story to them and history to them, and they're absolutely adorable front of the border. Now these primroses I've got growing here, the tallest one probably gets to 12 inches. The rest of them are even lower, 6 to 8 inches. Gorgeous basal foliage. The blooms will pop up right around here, and just probably the most charming flower I can think of, and definitely one you want to plant in December. So there we go. December is pretty magical up here in Northern California, and there's definitely plenty to do. There's the chores I mentioned earlier, there's the fun stuff, the great things to source and plant. Don't forget, it's not too late to plant some spring bulbs, especially with the weather the way we've been having it. It's not too late to grab your paper whites. They may not bloom by Christmas, but they're definitely going to get your spring off to a great start. I didn't even talk about camellias. It's a great time to get camellias too. Let's leave it at that as I admire this gorgeous peekaboo. And let me say thank you so much for watching this video. I really hope you enjoyed it. If you did, like, subscribe, share. The thing that would make me the happiest, though, is if you come on in and visit me here at Cottage Gardens of Petaluma. In the meantime, get outside, admire your garden, have a wonderful day out there, see where the gaps are so that you can start thinking about where to plant the roses, and enjoy yourself. Enjoy this beautiful weather, this beautiful season, and happy gardening.